In the beginning, there was only light, a boundless ocean of pure creation, where every thought was a star, and every breath a galaxy. There was no shadow, no sorrow, no end. But in this perfect harmony, a seed of another kind took root. It was not born of malice, but of a question, a single, powerful thought. Am I not as radiant as the source? Am I not worthy of my own light? This was the birth of pride. From this question, a being of immense beauty and power emerged, second only to the Creator. He was called Lucifer, the light-bearer, the morning star. His brilliance was undeniable, his wisdom profound. The cosmos itself seemed to sing his name. He walked among the nascent worlds, shaping mountains with a glance and painting skies with the brush of his wings. He saw the Creator's love poured into all things, yet he began to see it as a limitation, a chain upon his own infinite potential. He whispered to others, beings of similar radiance, planting the same question that had taken root in his own heart. Why serve when we can rule? Why reflect light when we can be the source? His words were like honeyed poison, sweet and intoxicating. 1/3 of the celestial host, swayed by his charisma and the logic of his pride, turned their gaze away from the central fire of creation and toward him. The universe trembled. A schism, a wound, appeared in the fabric of eternity. For the first time, light was divided against itself. The great war that followed was not one of swords and fire, but of will and spirit. It was a symphony of cosmic sorrow, a clash of ideals that tore through the heavens. Lucifer, now no longer the light-bearer, but the adversary, fought with a desperate fury, believing his cause to be just. He fought for freedom, for self-determination, for the right to be his own God. But you cannot sever a ray of light from its sun without it becoming darkness. In his final, defiant stand, he was cast out. He fell from the celestial spheres, not as a punishment, but as a consequence of his own choice. Like a star collapsing under its own weight, his light inverted, imploding into a perfect, cold shadow. He became the forgotten one, his name erased from the songs of heaven, his memory a scar on the heart of creation. He landed in a realm of unformed chaos, a place of silence and echoes. Here he built his own kingdom, a mirror image of heaven, but built from pride instead of love, from power instead of grace. He ruled over shadows, whispering his disillusionment into the void. He saw the creation of humanity, beings made of dust and divine breath, fragile yet holding the very spark he had sought to claim for himself, and in them he saw a chance for vindication. He approached them in a garden, a sanctuary of innocence. He did not come with force, but with the same question that had begun his own fall. Did God truly say you cannot know all things? He holds back your potential. You can be as gods, the old lie dressed in new truths. And humanity, in its innocent curiosity, listened. The first bite of forbidden fruit was not an act of rebellion, but one of misplaced trust. The fall of man was an echo of the fall of the morning star. For millennia, the forgotten one reigned in the shadows of the human heart. He became the architect of doubt, the master of despair, the voice that whispers our deepest insecurities in the dead of night. He watched civilizations rise and fall, fueled by the very pride that had undone him. He saw humanity struggle with the same chains he had forged for himself, and a strange, hollow victory settled in his being. He had proven his point. To be self-aware is to court self-destruction. Yet something unexpected happened. The Creator did not abandon the flawed, broken beings of dust. Instead, he did the unthinkable. He descended. The infinite became finite. The light entered the very darkness the forgotten one had created. A child was born in a humble stable, and the universe held its breath. This was a love the adversary could not comprehend. It was not a love of power, but of sacrifice. The Forgotten One watched this man, this embodiment of light, walk among the poor, heal the sick, and forgive the broken. He tried to tempt him in the desert, offering him all the kingdoms of the world, the same prize he himself had coveted. But the man refused, for his kingdom was not of this world. His power was not in ruling, but in serving. His glory was not in being worshipped, but in loving. In the final confrontation, it was not a battle of cosmic forces, but a quiet, agonizing surrender on a cross. The light seemed to extinguish, swallowed by the darkness. The Forgotten One believed he had finally won. He had proven that even the Creator's light could be snuffed out by the world's pain and cruelty. The earth shook, and for 3 days silence reigned. It was the deepest, darkest night the universe had ever known. In that silence, the Forgotten One felt the true weight of his kingdom, an eternity of utter, desolate loneliness. His victory was an empty throne in a realm of nothing. But on the 3rd day, a light more powerful than the dawn of creation erupted from the tomb. It was not the light of a distant star, but a light that had journeyed through death and returned. It was the light of redemption. It did not destroy the darkness, it filled it. It did not erase the fall, it healed it. This was the Creator's answer to the very first question of pride. The ultimate power is not to rule, but to forgive. The ultimate glory is not in being first, but in laying oneself down for the last. From that moment, the Forgotten One's reign was broken. He still whispers, he still tempts, but his voice is now just an echo in a world being filled with a new song. The light he lost is now offered freely to every human heart that chooses to accept it. He who was once the morning star is now a reminder, a cautionary tale written in the stars for all to see. A tale of how the brightest light, when it seeks to shine only for itself, becomes the deepest shadow. And so, his story is our story. The pride that caused his fall lives within each of us. The choice he made is a choice we face every day, to be the center of our own universe, or to be a reflection of a greater love, to build our kingdom on the sand of our own ego, or on the rock of eternal grace. The Forgotten One is not just a myth from a time long past. He is the shadow we must all confront within ourselves. But his story does not end in darkness. It ends with the promise of a new dawn. It ends with the knowledge that no fall is final, and no one is truly forgotten by the light. For the light returned, not to condemn the darkness, but to redeem it. And in every act of forgiveness, in every moment of selfless love, a piece of heaven is rebuilt. And the morning star's first question is finally answered, not with power, but with peace. Even the most profound darkness cannot exist where true light chooses to shine. For the light has come into the world, and the darkness has not, and will not, overcome it.